Hello everyone, today I will explain the volume and the comparison of two-stage volume in Point Cloud Tools module. Before measuring the volume, it is recommended to remove noise from the data or manually edit the classification to eliminate any points that may affect the section. This will improve the calculation accuracy. Let's start with the volume feature. It allows you to interactively select a reference plane by clicking with the mouse. It calculates the volume of the cut, fill, and cut and fill relative to a certain height. This feature is commonly used for measuring volumes of coal piles, ship bodies, and so on. There are three ways to measure volume. Select manually, select vector, and read from file. First, let's talk about select manually mode. For example, if you want to measure the volume of a sand barge, click on the select manually button and then select several points along the edge of the barge. Usually selecting 4 points to encompass it is enough. For measuring the volume of a sand barge, a recommended grid size is 0.05. Next, set the base plane for volume measurement. You can choose between minimal, fitted plane, and custom. In this case, we selected fitted plane, based on the source category information corresponding to the area you want to measure. Select the appropriate options. If there is a lot of noise in the data, it is advisable to adjust it beforehand and not select the category where the noise resides. There are two methods for volume measurement, tin and grid. If you uncheck tin, it will use the grid method. However, checking tin means using a triangular network method, which provides more accurate calculations. Note that it might be slower and require more memory. If your computer has good performance, you can directly calculate using this method. Afterwards, click the Compute button. This will calculate the projected area, surface area, cut volume, fill volume, and total volume. Additionally, it will display the space occupied by the current measurement data in the scene. You can export the results as an HTML report in the Volume Measurement Report dialog box. You can fill in the necessary information and select the save file path. Finally, click OK to export the report. The report includes result information and a 3D view. The second mode is to select a closer vector object. You can draw a closed line or polygon in the software in advance, or import an existing range through the vector import function before selecting it in the software platform. Then you can choose the corresponding parameters for calculation. In the read from file mode, you can directly import the geotag.txt file generated by the device point cloud or a closed range line file from an external source. To use this mode, click on the Read from File button for the geotag.txt file generated after alignment in the current project. The software will automatically read the align X, align Y, and align Z columns to fit the reference plane. Note that if you have performed ground control point calculations, you should select the geotag optimization text file after GCP registration. In this case, a file setting list will appear, and you will need to choose the X, Y, and Z columns corresponding to the contour range of the current volume measurement data, skipping the first row. For closed range line files, the software supports two formats, .shp and .dxf. It can only read one single vector object stored in the file. If the file contains multiple vector objects, the software will prompt that the vector file does not meet the requirements. The two-stage volume measurement tool is mainly used for measuring volumes of point cloud data captured at the same location but during different time periods. It calculates various information such as projected area, surface area, fill volume, cut volume, and total change between before and after stages. To use this tool, you need to establish projects with at least 2 point clouds. Activate the two-stage volume measurement tool and set the parameters in the dialog box. The before source refers to the baseline data from the same location captured during the earlier time period. The after source refers to data captured at the same location during the later time period. You can quickly exchange the before and after sources by clicking the Exchange button. Empty cells often contain data voids that result in empty grid cells. Here you can set how to handle these empty cells. Please note that volume calculations are only performed within cells that have both before and after data. No calculations will be done if any of these two sources is missing. Adjust the empty cells settings based on your specific situation. None. Empty cells are not processed. Interpolation. Triangular interpolation is applied to fill the data voids separately for the before and after sources. Minimum height, maximum height, and average height represents statistical data for the selected heights in the data voids. The corresponding height values are written into the empty cell positions. If you choose user-defined, the before Z and after Z buttons below will become available. You can set custom Z values for the empty cell positions individually for the before and after stages. Cell size sets the size of each individual grid cell. For cell height, you can choose between 3 calculation criteria: maximum height, minimum height, and average height. The chosen height corresponds to the Z value of the points within the current cell. The default is set to maximum height. Polygon selection allows you to define the calculation area manually by creating a polygon region. All points represent the entire dataset as the calculated area. Default, suitable for small datasets. Once you have the set parameters, click on Compute. The calculation results will be displayed in the 2-stage volume dialog box, with the corresponding image shown on the right. The red color represents fill volume, green indicates no change before and after stages, and blue represents cut volume. Clicking on Export will bring up the Report Information Settings interface. Fill in the necessary information according to your requirements. Select the output path, and then click OK to export the report. The report will display the result information and the view. That concludes the introduction to the volume and 2-stage volume comparison analysis functions in the Point Cloud Tools module. Thank you all for watching.